Look at this now. This puts me in a good space right now. Look at that. It's incredible. Really good. Look at that. Oh, it's put you in such a good mood. Just had to climb up a few sand dunes so that I can make the next part. So that's kind of like my experience of bullying, like I mentioned in the last few videos. I could go on a lot more about it, but I guess how I experienced it was poke the bear, he gets angry, we all get a laugh, and we also know his reaction will be wrong, he'll be given out to, so either way, win-win for us. Then I'm the one that goes to all the extra classes where it's fucking hammered into me, you're wrong, you're a bad kid, stop being such a bad kid, stop being such a pain and a hassle for us. Having family members laughing at me for being different, being weird, taking the piss out of me, calling me aggro, mocking my clumsiness, my awkwardness, giving out to me, like as in, you know, not even wanting to hear my side of the story if I've been in a fight, just giving out to me. So then you think, I can't defend myself. If I do that, I'm in the wrong. But I'll never be a punch bag. You know, like I could play a game of slaps or something with people, or you know, 2 for flinching. I can do that. Kind of be like, alright, kind of test yourself out, see how many you can take. So me and my mates would play those games and be like, go on, hit me and see if you can give me a dead arm. You know, like the dead arm game. Might even just sit down for a second. You know, I go, I'll walk, get those steps in. I'm not talking about losing the plot with everybody. Fucking acid reflux. But the uncertainty that goes on inside my head is unbelievable. I don't know what the fuck I'm allowed to and what I'm not. I always assume I'm in the wrong. Such a toxic place to be, and it keeps me up at night. So if you think that's not relevant to today, believe me, it is. You say my own brother went through stuff, and I was always just of the opinion that, well, it's his own. My dad told me, I actually went to my dad and asked him for advice about what I should do with my brother, and he said he's got to fight his own battles. My brother gave out to me, as he said, for saying something, having a go at lads who were, you know, always on to him, always saying stuff to him. Whenever I saw it in person now, I do something about it. Unless it was done in good spirit, you know, like I'm not saying you always have to jump in. If mates were slagging him off or whatever, it's kind of like, oh, it's his mates, yeah, so. Or I'd have a laugh with them and slag them and they'd slag me. I think that's a problem, you know. You can play stuff off as only slagging. And that's where I kind of got taken advantage of, because it's like, oh, we're only messing, we're only slagging. If you can't take a slagging, you know, that's your problem, not mine. Very easy to pass it off as I'm only slagging you. And when it's across the line, like me and my brother will say stuff to each other. I'll say, oh yeah, I'm very guilty of it. You know, you big sissy, you big girl's blouse, all this stuff. Getting more conscious of it now. He'll say something to me and we'll kind of have a laugh about it. And sometimes he'll get pissed off. So I kind of need to draw the line there and go, look, it's not fun anymore. Give it a break, Dan. It's incessant. And I guess having an idea that what he was going through and all the names that he was called. I guess as well, to a degree, because it happened to me as well, I normalised it. I just thought that's part of life. It's not going to stop. There's too many people saying stuff to us. We're getting it on all fucking sides, and we're not getting anyone in our corner saying, don't say that to him. Or else. It was always, oh, these lads are, you know, loners, kind of. They don't have anyone in their corner. They're easy targets. The big fellas as well, so we could shame them into thinking, oh, you know, fight your own battles, all that stuff. Or I used to get said to me is, why are you picking on the little fella? I was like, fuck off. Fuck off. He's been saying stuff to me non-stop. So I feel like just screaming at everybody. Get off my fucking case. I wouldn't have done anything to him if he hadn't bothered me in the first place. So do not fucking lecture me on being a bully and picking on people. I already gave 2 examples of teachers not dealing with the situation well. And here's another one, right? Here's a really, really bad one. One that I never got an apology for, I might just add. So, I've been in a bit of trouble, yeah, for sure. 100%. I was no angel. And I fully own up to that. So I know, when you get yourself in trouble, your card is marked. And so that was the case with me. But I knew there were teachers out just basically, they seized the opportunity to get me expelled, which they did. And a particular Irish teacher from Latch, he came to me after a training session in rugby. So I was looking at a mate's phone, friend of mine, you know. It's like, oh, that's a nice phone, and then put it back in his bag. Now there were no cameras in the changing room, okay, none. So I popped it back in. Sometimes lads used to do that. I caught a lad doing it before, taking my phone out of my bag and having a look at it. I was like, oh, here, give it back. I shouldn't have done it. I think the phone was kind of hanging out of the bag. I saw it and went, oh, look at that. I was eyeballing the phone. So I did have it in my hands, right? But loads of lads saw me. And loads of them saw me putting it back in the bag because I did. And I asked whose it was. And it was one of my friends. So I was like, okay, he's a mate of mine. I wasn't going to steal it anyway. But how, obviously somebody ratted me out or said something and said that I'd taken it out because I got robbed. So like, yeah, I'm probably partially to blame for that. Could have been someone in the dressing room who saw it. Now it was sticking out of the bag anyway, so if anyone had come in and purposely been looking to rob a phone, they would have seen it sticking out of the bag, I'm sure. Yeah, it's probably my fault, to be fair. I'm willing to say if I hadn't taken it out, it probably wouldn't have gotten stolen. So I do take a bit of responsibility for that. But hand on heart, I did not steal it. But it got robbed anyway. And so I get dragged out of class by this particular Irish teacher. And he says, you're coming with me now. You stole the phone. I know you did. And if it doesn't turn up, this is the end of the line for you. And he used to take me out of class daily. Yeah, daily. He'd be taking me out to harass me. my favourite science teacher who I spoke about. He didn't accuse me, but he was the airhead at the time, and I was kind of disappointed in him. I felt like he kind of stood idly by and didn't do anything, if I'm being perfectly honest. Which felt really let down by him. But so I got dragged out of class and basically told, I know you had the phone in your hand, and I said, well, how could you know that? There's no cameras in there, so someone's clearly after telling you I robbed that phone. Who was it? And they go, we're not telling you. And I said, well, why haven't you asked them? Someone has to have said it. Because unless there were some hidden cameras, and we had a particular teacher who was who also coached rugby, who had a bit of a reputation. There's one in every school, am I right? Nah, jokes. But unless there was some hidden cameras in the school, then I've no idea how that got seen. But anyway, I got called out, so my learning disrupted, being accused, some of the lads looking at me differently. I went to my mate because it was his phone that got robbed, and I was like, look man, I'm really sorry, sorry your phone got robbed. I did have it in my hands, right, I'll be honest with you, but you know I'd never steal anything on you, don't you? And he goes, I'm after telling them that I've literally gone in there and gone, he's my mate, he wouldn't do that to me. And they're not listening to me. So, yeah, my mum, my dad, getting dragged in all the time about it. I don't know what happened. My mum said she was basically defending me to the nth degree, and my dad was basically going, yes sir, no sir, 3 bags full sir, to our principal. I'm just agreeing with everything he said. I don't know what happened, I can't comment on it, I don't know. Either way, nobody was taking my side. My mum now did. She said, oh yeah, sure, I know he wouldn't because it's one of his friends. But then they were like, they put a lot of pressure on me, and they said, that phone better turn up or you're in big trouble. I said, I don't know. Then I lied, because they said, if you didn't do it, you better give us the name of the fella who did. So, I'm not the best thing. I gave the name of a fella who I thought would, who had a reputation for stealing things. Because there was a lot of pressure being put on, and I knew what trouble I was going to get in if I got expelled. So I did, which I shouldn't have done, because I've no evidence to back that up. So I said, well, this fella, you know, and then they said, oh, they brought him in front of me, so I got to see it and witness it firsthand. Do you know anything about a phone getting stolen? No. And that was that. Out he went. So someone rats me out. I'm honest and admit to it, that I did, yeah, have it in my hands. Honesty doesn't get you fucking anywhere. And then they gave out to me for blindly accusing someone. It was like, wasn't. He has a reputation for it. And they brought another fella in as well and asked him, fella who I think was mates with the lad as well, and he said no, they were from the same area, so brought him in. Well, yeah, they were pinning it on one suspect, and that was me, until a fella that I actually ended up falling out with came forward and said, because I said to him, you saw me, right, you came out after me, And he went up, in fairness, and said, I saw him leave before me and he didn't have the phone, so, and he didn't put it in his bag. That was that. Went back to class, stopped being dragged out, and yeah, no apology, just that's it. That's all she wrote. After being dragged out of class and harassed in front of the whole school, pretty much. Everyone walking up and down the halls could see it going on, you know. Basically just getting humiliated in front of everybody, you know. Being dragged around and accused of something that I didn't do. No apology or nothing. And I remember before, like, I had this lad for another class and he accused someone of doing something. So I got a chance to get a little something in there, and I just said, there you are at it again, accusing people of doing something. Just blindly accusing people again, are we? And he goes, well, you know, when you're a little robbing scumbag, then it sticks, you know, shit sticks. And I kind of just went, yeah, really? So where's your proof? Why am I still here then? I was like, so who are you calling a robbing little scumbag? I was like, you obviously were wrong, weren't you? Never got an apology off you, by the way. And he just shut up. This fellow always had something to say for himself. There you go. I obviously have a way of rubbing people up the wrong way. That's my main issue, really, you know. Not so much what was said to me in school by a bunch of fucking mouthpieces. How much contempt was shown to me by teachers and coaches as well. I was good at rugby, I could hold my own, you know, but there was always favourites in the team, you know. Put it that way. Because I wasn't the mouthpiece. Just got on with the task, never complained, just did it. Got myself fit. Guess more was expected of me, you know. If I missed one training, it'd be, oh, he's finally here. Jokes being made, and it was like, I'm always at training, and I gave plenty of notice that I wouldn't be. Now with the EUPD and autism, ASD, all these abbreviations, but the borderline traits that I have, emotionally unstable traits, yeah, there's definitely an argument to say I'm probably more sensitive than the average Joe to certain things, yeah. I'm willing to accept that because it's literally in the diagnosis. For sure, yeah. So maybe, and I did have to kind of take a pause in between and think, kind of lucky that I got therapy at a young age, so I could kind of go, yeah, maybe take a step back, don't just fly into this impulsively. Whether I was right or wrong, at least I was able to take that step back. But it's just wrong the way it was handled, on every fucking level. It's no wonder I've such low self-esteem. I beat myself up about everything. And that's what it all comes back to. That's what bullying does. And what, would I have had sympathy if I just sat there and took it like a good little bitch? Not saying the kids that get picked on and don't retaliate are little bitches, by the way. That's very harsh. Yeah, it's not the right way of phrasing it, obviously, but you know what I mean. Should I just sit there and get physically attacked? Because if I didn't respond the way I did, I've no doubt kids would have physically done something to me if I just took it. Because my brother said stuff used to happen to him, like people pinching him or poking him, and he didn't respond. And I was kind of like, you've got to. You know, I can't do that for you. I'm not going to let you get your head kicked in ever. I'll look out for you when I can, but you've got to stand up for yourself when I'm not there. I couldn't get my head around that. And I couldn't get my head around why he was so angry at me for doing something. Because I'd see these kids and I thought, oh, he'll be grand around them. They'd say something to me and I'd kind of, you know, square up to them or push them up against the wall and just kind of let them know, don't say that to me again. They're younger as well, so have a bit of respect for the elders. And they'd kind of shit themselves and say, oh no, it's just a joke, just a joke. And that happens as well. Jokes are made, fair enough. But guess I just never saw it happening. Thought you've got to stand up for yourself. And I invited him out for lunch with us. And kind of got a bit annoyed at him for, he'd always ask me for money, I'd always give it to him because I felt like, oh, he's not in the best headspace. Kind of annoyed at him as well, like, for not sticking up for himself. I thought, why didn't you? Like, I've had stuff said to me. I never let anyone physically infringe on my rights, you know. It's like, you want to fucking do that. Like, even if I get my head kicked in, I'll still do my best to defend myself. I'm not going to be anyone's punching bag. But then the empathetic side of me comes out and I'm like, that's just not him. You know? I was like, oh, I wasn't there for him, and all these feelings of guilt came out. When I asked for advice, I thought I was doing the right thing. That's what I'm saying about having good male role models. You look to them for advice. My dad gave me the fucking worst advice possible. All he ever said was be hard on yourself. And he was hard on us. Worst fucking advice ever. It didn't help my brother in any way. Didn't help him at all. My brother ended up being fucking miserable, hardly able to go into school, so that's the effect bullying can have on people. Nasty fucking word, isn't it? But it can take all different forms. And again, I'm gonna call the adults out for this. He had a coach that literally would do nothing but pick on him when he did something wrong. And I got to see it firsthand. He made a break before, and he's an even bigger lad than me, you know. And he ran nearly the length of the field. And then was about to get tackled, so he looked for a pass. Rather than praising him for like breaking through about 6 tackles and running the length of the pitch, our coach goes, yeah, I knew you'd get too tired and have to pass the ball. Like, fuck off, you cunt. Felt like even adult sauce is an easy target. Ridiculous. And you do take on some of it. I definitely did. Which I'm appalled at myself for. That toxic sort of shame, and tried to shame people into being better, and it doesn't work. But because I got such terrible advice, I had to learn for myself. Wish it didn't take so fucking long, but guess I'm young. Guess some people never learn. If you see it, like if there's a man's man who is tough, and you see him, he's a tough guy, and then he stands up for you but goes, look, you've got to be able to do this for yourself as well. You kind of go, okay, but please teach me. And you feel that sense of security that if you do get the shit kicked out of you, at least you'll have him there to kind of go, have to do this again. I just felt lost, completely lost. No matter what I do, I'm in the wrong. So I chose to not be in the present. I chose to drink heavily. Chose to batter myself in rugby games and training, running. Chose a different kind of form of self-harm. You know, like I said, tying stuff around myself until I get it hurt, burning myself. You know, rarely. Now, I never cut. You know, that wasn't really something I did. As a fucking a healthy respect of blood, shall we say. Blood was never something that appealed to me, which meant that cutting was off the charts, or off the cards, sorry. But I remember, like, obviously had that suicide attempt that I told you about, and then like I used to tie like resistance bands around my neck, and I remember putting a belt in the door before in my bedroom. My mum and my brother were out, and I remember just like slamming the door shut on the belt and like pulling it as tight as I could around my neck and saying, if I were to do this, could I kill myself, or could I at least keep it steady enough that I'll be able to? Yeah, that's what it fucking leads to. I think I used to be such a crier as a kid. I'm amazed that doesn't bring out some tears, but I guess I'm numb to a lot of things, you know. I look like a fucking psychopath. Everyone has their own shit, don't they? They react differently. There are times where I get really down, for sure. When I get my worst, I don't really cry, because I don't have the energy, don't have the tears either. But that would be suicidal ideation, for sure. Stuff I talk about isn't very comfortable for a lot of people. I appreciate that. But I feel like I've been taken advantage of by a lot of people, and I don't want to see it happening to anybody else. I even try, like, I have younger cousins, and I try and be a good older cousin for them, you know, just let them know I'm there for them. Particularly because they could be quite loud and annoying when I was younger. I felt bad that I could be quite asocial. Say it to myself, you know, stop being such a miserable prick. Especially the girls that I'm friends with, they're real bubbly, outgoing, good looking. They'd invite me out, and I was kind of there just beating myself up, going, these are nice girls, they're good looking, they're your friends, they like you, they're good people. Stop being such a fucking miserable prick and just go out. And that actually did work. Bit of toxic shame goes a long way, doesn't it? It did work. But the feelings of guilt are the worst. They're fucking horrible. And I was shaming myself and guilt tripping myself into doing so many things, especially with this apathy that comes over me. I just go and find something that'll get me to do it, you know, to get me motivated. And like, it was done a lot to me as well, especially playing rugby, where you can make like 28 tackles in a game. We videoed it before, so I literally had it on the stats, but 28 tackles, 3 turnovers, big carries, you know, good carries. Lasted the whole game, which in school did frequently. But someone would say, oh, you got bumped, you got boshed. lad ran over you, you missed the tackle. And it was like, boom, undone. None of the good stuff mattered. It was like every good thing I've done in this game means fuck all because I got dominated by someone in one fucking incident. And I always use Richie McCaw as an example, and I used it in my rugby video. Still think all in all David Pocock is a better open side flanker, but mad respect for Richie McCaw. I played open side flanker as well, for any rugby fans out there. I played second row and number 8, and twice at tight head prop when I started putting on a bit more timber, which was a lot of fun. Love to make a rugby channel, but Egg Chasers is one of my favourite for sure. Love that channel. But you see how fragile my ego was. So one little negative comment, I'm spitting all over the fucking place with the scenery behind me. But one negative remark undid every good thing in the game. And my dad was that way too. You look tired, you look overweight, you look unfit, you look sluggish. And that's not when I played shit, that's after I got man of the match in a game. So can you imagine? It's always the negative shit. That's all I've experienced with the men in my life, is just negative shit. And I understand striving to be better, but when you're not playing professional sport, all this negative shit, I do agree with being tough on people. Being a coach, like sometimes I'm like, come on now lads. But I'm quite a laissez-faire type of coach. If the lads say they're injured, I'm like, right, sit it out, take a break. If they're doing running drills and they go, I'm after hurting my ankle or pulling something, I'm like, okay, grand, I'll maybe even help them stretch it out, you know, like a calf stretch or something. If it's a calf, if it's a hamstring, I'm like, fuck that, don't risk that. Hamstrings, gotta look after them. And also based on the lad themselves, so if the lad is always very fit, always does everything, always tries his hardest, I'll be like, yeah, I believe him. He never goes down, so I'll just leave him, kind of let him go when he's ready. Have a softer approach. I definitely think that's important, for sure, because I don't want to be like all my coaches were when I was growing up. I said Garrett, my South African coach, was the best I've ever had. He had a great blend of toughness but fairness. He was sound, he was a good lad, but he was tough. You can definitely see how South Africa become world champions back to back. And we have a bit of banter with the fans and all, but it's good to see a rugby mad nation. You can have a chat and a beer with them, you know, it's good, I like that. Not too many beers though, big on that. But yeah, I think I've rambled enough. Kind of getting off the bullying subject, which means I've probably said enough about it. But kind of the hidden aspects of it, you know, and how it's kind of reinforced. It's like when people don't stand up for you, you start to believe it. And when they give out to you for defending yourself, you believe you deserve the negative shit. Because that's exactly what happened with me. And don't give yourself any excuse if you've been picking on some fella. You owe it to that fella then to look after him and apologise to him. And if you don't, you're a fucking scumbag. If you bully some fella and you never apologise to him, you never tell him you were wrong and that you're truly sorry for it, when it's not benefiting you in any way, you're the fucking lowest of the low. And there's loads of people that are walking around scot-free, won't go to jail, you know, never, you know, they've probably got no criminal record, they're probably squeaky clean on paper, but they're real narcissistic and abusive to other people, treat others like shit, just chip away at people's confidence. And they never apologise, they never say they're sorry, they don't give a shit, they're happy to trample all over people. You're the fucking lowest of the low if you do that, you're scum. And I say that as someone who has been scum. Fucking ashamed of myself. I can't tell you how appalled I was the way I acted. How I made that poor lad feel. It's not comfortable, but it's not about me. I did that to him. That's not on. I did it to more lads as well. But I reached out to those lads and I said I'm sorry. And they appreciated it. Doesn't exonerate me from what I did. No. Not at all. I've got to own that I did that. And try to do better. You know, not get taken advantage of, because as I say, that has happened as well. And I end up losing the plot, but know that I am good enough, that I don't have to always think that I'm wrong, that I'm not always wrong. Sitting down now. I'm not always in the wrong, and I can defend myself without raising my voice or using these, which I don't like doing anyway, you know, but gets me all upset. And guys, I'll leave it on a positive note. Nice little view of the sea before I end the video. Just listen to that. Thanks for watching.